provided, because it's substantial in some cases, between the state and the city, and then we pass it along.
Yeah.
Do we pass that liability for managing that money correctly along with this sub-agreement?
Yeah, in the agreement you would. At the same time, this program is open to audit. So we could come in and audit, and we do. We do kind of a random auditing of this program and our snowmobile program every year. So we would sit down with the sponsor, sit down with the club, and just make sure that all the documents that need to be there are there. Once the money comes through us, and the way this is set up, the clubs will get 65% of the money back for acquisition, development, and administration. And then for the maintenance of the trail, the state reimburses them for 90% of that cost. And there's an allowable cost sheet that says how much they get for doing certain kind of activities. So the club is still invested and they're still involved because they are putting in, usually they donate all their labor time into the program, so they're connected with the trail system.
Who is responsible for the money? Who gets audited?
Both the sponsor and the club.
Is the treasurer of the club bonded?
That would be a question for Mitch.
No. The treasurer in our club is not bonded.
But I believe, and I'm not suggesting we have to do it, but I believe that the one agreement you sent did have the flexibility to add that as a requirement if the city and the club worked on that together, decided that was the right thing to do.
Oh, you certainly could. But I just gave you as an example of where it's been used somewhere else. If there's things you'd like to see in there, sit down with the club, work it out. If there's things you don't think need to be in there, you can certainly take them out.
Where does the village enter into this? It came to us as far as sponsorship.
We haven't involved the village at all.
Obviously,
The trails will be going through the village.
Some village property.
Not
Or
necessarily.
not necessarily?
We have no idea where the trails are going to go at this
We're still
time.
going to,
The first step, as a club, our first step was to get the trail system going in Chatfield. The next step is getting the trail system going down here. The third step is to connect the two. Now that
That's
isn't
us.
going to happen. That's not going to happen in one big swoop. I'm thinking it'll happen in segments. We'll get landowners from the Chatfield area to allow ATVs on their land, and it'll get closer to this direction. Hopefully we'll get landowners from this part of the country to move in that direction. And we're looking for any help we can get to get the trail from point A to point B. We have no idea where it's going to go.
Were you going to try and have an access point in the town then?
I
Or
think that would be
ATVs?
in the best interest of the city, but if the city doesn't want it, we won't do it. If the village doesn't want this in their area, it won't go there. It's dependent on the landowners. We may never get Chatfield and this trail from down here connected together. I honestly don't know. It's a shot. The trail systems for the snowmobile clubs didn't just one day appear. It started off small and then it went from point A to point B to C to D and then 20 years later it's connected. They have a massive trail system. The ATV system isn't there yet. The reason we came to Rushford is because we wanted to go through this area and we want you people to have a say in it. That's the reason why we picked Rushford.
Craig, in the material that you have there is a sample resolution of
Yes, there is.
certain language you
Yeah.
want to see it attended.
It is, and it's not even that critical, the language, just to identify that the city is willing to enter into this agreement with the Department of Natural Resources for the grant and aid program. But there is 2 examples in here actually that speak to that.
seen the other driving forces, we do have a business in town that is fairly involved in the ATV business and does very well. And this would also be supportive of their efforts, I believe, in the area of trail equipment and that type of thing. So I believe that also has a role here to play.
Council's pleasure.
Do we need to have an agreement in place before we go any further, or can we say we go forward with negotiating an agreement? I would like to see it. The more people we can bring to town, the better we are.
The application that was submitted the last meeting, they would need, if the city is willing to be the sponsor, they would need to sign that agreement and pass a resolution saying that they've done so.
Is there a timeline?
No, there isn't. The money we, at this point, when the opportunities arise, we go after them. The ATV account is healthy. It's one of the few activities where we're actually seeing an increase in the sale of machines, where everything else seems to be holding steady or actually declining.
And if a follow-up agreement for some reason didn't materialize, could the city withdraw its support?
Right, yeah. By signing this application and passing a resolution doesn't lock you into the program. It'll come after we do all the review process. We come back to the city with an actual agreement between the state and the city. It's at that point when you sign that document that you're at least committed for that funding cycle. So this is kind of the preliminary step to say, yes, we recognize the sponsor. We're willing to take it to the next step and see where we go.
There was no formal application brought to the council. We just were asking if the council, the city of Rushford, was interested in being a sponsor. So if you're interested, then we will get into a period of time when we try to hammer out the contracts or whatever you people want in this thing. I would assume it would be similar to whatever we entered into with Chatfield, and it can be more, it can be less. But we're just looking to see if you're interested in being a sponsor.
Well, we'll go forward with the project to at least look at what we're going to be asked to sign.
Second.
Anything else, Mark? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Great.
Thank you, Mike.
Forward to working with
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank